Toyota kept strengthening its hybrid technology, and Tesla kept pushing the whole world faster and faster toward electric cars. Another company was quietly working on both paths at the same time. BYD was not only betting on a fully electric future. Instead of leaving its old engine technology behind, the company kept improving it, refining it, and developing it step by step. 2025, BYD made exactly that move. The company introduced a compact, smooth-running, and powerful turbocharged boxer engine, so impressive that engineers around the world are trying to understand how it is even possible. This story is not just about horsepower or driving range. It is a direct challenge to the entire electric car industry, especially at a time when the world is moving further and further away from the internal combustion engine. Could this engine completely change the way we look at the future of cars? Until now, many people believed that innovation in combustion engines had almost reached its limit. Most major automakers had already placed their future on batteries and electric motors. They moved their engineering teams into two fields and focused more on software and battery cells. And at that exact moment, BYD, the Chinese giant that had already surpassed Tesla in global electric vehicle sales, suddenly revealed a secret project that almost nobody expected. It was a completely new turbocharged boxer engine, developed specifically for a new premium plug-in hybrid model from the company. In a very short time, it created a major wave in the engine world. Now the most important question is this: what kind of technology has BYD put into this engine, and how strongly could it shake up the entire car market in the coming years? To understand that more clearly, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Before we take a closer look at BYD's new turbo boxer engine, we first need to look at BYD's own market. Because honestly, this company is not simply building an engine, preparing to change the entire game. Today, BYD is no longer a small company. Just a few years ago, many people thought this brand was mainly limited to China. But now the situation has completely changed. BYD has become one of the fastest-growing electric and hybrid car manufacturers in the world. During the period from around 2023 to 2024, BYD sold more than 3 million vehicles worldwide. And the most important thing is that this growth is not limited to China. The company is also expanding extremely quickly in international markets. Every year, BYD's global presence becomes bigger. The company has built a strong position in regions such as Europe, Southeast Asia, Australia, the Middle East, and Latin America. If we only talk about markets outside China, BYD exports hundreds of thousands of vehicles every year. In 2023 alone, the company exported around 200,000 to 300,000 vehicles, and that number continued to grow even faster from 2024 to 2025 in countries such as Thailand, Brazil, India, Germany, and the United Arab Emirates. BYD is opening factories and showrooms in many places. The message is very clear: BYD is no longer just a Chinese brand. This company has become a real global player. The most interesting part is that BYD's beginning was extremely simple. In 1995, the company started as a battery manufacturer. At that time, almost nobody could imagine that one day BYD would compete with giants like Tesla and Toyota. BYD followed a very smart strategy. First become strong in batteries, then use that same technology for cars. Today, BYD makes its own batteries, builds its own engines, and assembles its own vehicles. This is called vertical integration, and it has become the company's greatest strength. Types of vehicles does BYD focus on the most? The simple answer is the mass market and the hybrid future. BYD is not only aiming at luxury electric cars. The company builds vehicles that ordinary people can afford. Product range stretches from small hatchbacks, SUVs, and sedans to luxury models. The real game lies in BYD's plug-in hybrid technology. BYD's hybrid cars operate on another level. They are not just about saving fuel. They try to deliver an almost fully electric driving experience, with electric driving on short trips and engine support on longer journeys. This is exactly why BYD's hybrid cars are becoming extremely popular in countries where charging infrastructure is still not very strong. Besides that, BYD has also gone very far in electric buses and commercial vehicles. In many cities around the world, BYD electric buses are already running on the streets. This gives the company a strong position not only in passenger cars, but also in public transportation. And now comes the competition. Tesla focuses completely on electric cars, while Toyota is seen as the king of hybrid technology. BYD chooses the middle path, electric cars and hybrids at the same time. And that is exactly what is increasingly giving both companies a headache. It is a boxer engine. First of all, how does it actually work? Even the name sounds a little unusual. In a normal engine, the pistons move up and down in a straight line. In a boxer engine, things are a little different. The pistons are placed opposite each other. Means one piston moves from the left, the other moves from the right, and both move at the same time, almost like two people throwing punches at each other, is why it is called a boxer engine. What is the advantage of this layout? Biggest advantage is balance. One piston moves in one direction, the other moves in the opposite direction. Because of that, vibrations are almost cancelled out. This helps the car run much more smoothly, the engine shakes less, and the entire driving experience feels more stable. That is also why cars with boxer engines often feel more planted on the road, especially at high speeds. The second point is the fairly low center of gravity. Because the engine is built flat, it spreads out horizontally instead of rising high upward. This improves both the balance and the handling of the car. Taking corners or driving at high speed, the car is easier to control. You might ask yourself, if this design is so good, why does not every manufacturer use it? This is the other side of the story. Boxer engines are more complicated to build. They need more space, and maintenance can also be more difficult. That is why not every car maker invests in this structure. However, some brands have turned it into their own identity, such as Porsche. Porsche uses boxer engines in its sports cars because smoothness, balance, and performance are all required there. Its cars are known for high speed and precise handling, and the boxer engine fits that goal perfectly. Now you understand what a boxer engine is. Now BYD is stepping into the game with its own turbo boxer engine. This new turbocharged boxer engine from BYD is not simply a repeat of an old idea. It is an attempt to take this concept to a new level. First, let us talk about its compact design. Traditional boxer engines are usually quite large and wide. BYD has tried to make it more compact so it can be integrated into hybrid cars more easily. Means more power and more functions in a smaller space. This is one of the most important goals of modern automotive engineering. Next comes turbocharging technology. To put it simply, a turbo pushes more air into the engine to create more power. More air and fuel enter the engine, combustion becomes stronger, and output increases. BYD has combined a turbo with a boxer engine, allowing this engine to produce quite impressive power despite its small size. The story is not only about performance. Smoothness is still maintained, because the boxer design naturally reduces vibration, and when it is combined with modern tuning and software control, it creates a very refined driving experience. Means the driver gets both power and smoothness at the same time. In normal engines, power sometimes arrives suddenly, or the driver can feel a delay, especially with turbo engines. BYD, however, has tried to make power delivery more linear and softer, so the driver feels more in control. Especially in a hybrid system, where the combustion engine and electric motor have to work together, smooth power delivery is extremely important. That is why this turbo boxer engine from BYD is not just a separate engine. It is part of a complete system. It works together with an electric motor, provides electric driving on short trips, and offers engine support for long-distance travel. The strategy of combining hybrid technology with a new engine begins right here, because this engine was not created to work alone. BYD's real plan is to connect it with a plug-in hybrid system, meaning the engine and battery work together. Simply put, this is a setup where the car has two hearts, an electric motor and an internal combustion engine. Short trips, the car runs entirely on electricity. Means daily commutes to work, city driving, no fuel use, no noise, and an almost fully electric driving experience. When you need to travel far or need more power, the engine automatically joins in. This is where the biggest advantage appears. Driving range is the biggest worry with a pure electric car. What happens when the battery runs out? Can you find a charging station or not? A hybrid system solves this problem in a smart way. When the battery gets low, the engine immediately provides support. That means you do not need to stop, and you do not have to stress about finding a charger. The car simply keeps going. On the other hand, performance also becomes very strong. The engine and electric motor work together. Their power adds up. The electric motor delivers instant torque. That means as soon as the driver presses the accelerator, the car pulls forward immediately, while the combustion engine continues to provide stable power and maintains strength and durability on long journeys. Together, they create an experience that neither a pure gasoline car nor a simple electric car can fully deliver. Now imagine how interesting BYD's turbo boxer engine becomes in this setup. A boxer engine is already smooth and well-balanced, and when it is combined with a hybrid system, vibration becomes even lower. As a result, the car feels more premium, quieter, and less jerky. Another major advantage is energy efficiency. A hybrid system uses fuel very intelligently. In the city, the electric motor does most of the work, saving gasoline. On the highway, the combustion engine plays its role where it can operate more efficiently. This means better overall fuel consumption and lower running costs. And this is exactly where BYD feels different from other companies. Tesla focuses completely on electric cars, where charging infrastructure plays an extremely important role. Toyota is very strong in hybrids, but BYD is trying to connect both worlds at a new level. Driving range, more flexibility, and less pressure. So why did BYD choose a boxer engine in 2025, while the whole world is chasing electric cars? The answer lies in the company's new luxury flagship sedan, the Yangwang U7. This is not a car trapped in old thinking or outdated technology. On the contrary, it is a powerful example of new and advanced ideas in modern mobility. Some versions are fully electric, while others combine an engine and electric drive in a way that has rarely been seen before. For this plug-in hybrid model, BYD's engineers almost started from zero, and their goal was to develop an engine that was light, took up little space, worked efficiently with an electric motor, and still remained smooth, quiet, and fuel-efficient. The numbers are also impressive. The new turbocharged four-cylinder boxer engine has a displacement of 2 liters and produces around 268 horsepower, enough to compete with much larger engines. What is also special is that this engine is even flatter than Porsche's latest four-cylinder boxer engines, which are seen worldwide as a benchmark for this type of design. To achieve that, BYD needed new technology, new materials, and a completely different way of thinking about engine design. BYD's focus was not only on power. In a luxury sedan like the U7, comfort is just as important. That is why the engineers paid special attention to reducing noise and vibration and spent months tuning everything, from engine mounts to sound control. The final result is quite surprising. This four-cylinder boxer engine produces only 1 decibel more noise than the fully electric version of the same model. For people who understand the sound of a boxer engine, that almost feels like magic. It delivers a new level of smoothness and silence, while still keeping the feeling and character that only a real engine can provide. BYD did not choose a turbocharged boxer engine just to look different or bring back nostalgia. There is a direct connection between this decision and the design of the hybrid system. Normally, most plug-in hybrid cars use inline engines or V-engines packed tightly together with the battery and electric motor. The U7 takes a different path. Here, the engine is placed directly above the powerful front electric motors. This saves space, improves the balance of the car, and makes the entire system more efficient. It is a perfect example of intelligent space use. Nothing is wasted. Every small component contributes either to better performance or greater comfort. And its impact is not limited to power or smoothness. It also shows clearly in driving range. BYD says the plug-in hybrid version of the U7 can travel more than 600 miles on a full tank and a full charge. At a time when electric car buyers are constantly thinking about range, this number is not just for show. It could become a real turning point, especially in places where charging infrastructure is not fully developed yet. Another interesting point is that in the extended-range electric vehicle configuration, this engine does not directly drive the wheels. The job of the Boxer engine is to generate electricity for the battery, and then the battery powers the electric motors. The advantage here is that the driver gets the instant torque, quick response, and smooth acceleration of a pure electric car, while still having a gasoline tank as backup for long trips. No trouble with gear shifts, no complicated transmission, just a simple and reliable cooperation between gasoline and electric power. The Yangwang U7 is not the only major model in BYD's premium lineup, but it is probably the boldest one. It belongs to the same family as the Yangwang U9 supercar, which is known for its advanced suspension system, and the Yangwang U8 SUV, which surprised many people with features such as floating on water and turning in place. Even so, it is this small, compact, highly innovative Boxer engine that is attracting the most attention, because it could become a major topic in the auto industry in the coming years. Engineers from major carmakers in Europe and America are quietly watching this development and learning from it internally. In an industry where many people already felt that the era of gasoline and diesel engines was almost over, BYD has shown that there is still room for new experiments, new technologies, and a new kind of hybrid. A hybrid that does not force the driver to choose between performance and driving range. This is a clear signal to everyone who believed that the future of cars would be decided only by silicon and lithium. The launch of the U7 plug-in hybrid feels like the beginning of a new era in automotive design. It is exactly the kind of move that can create a stir in every major conference room, from Stuttgart to Detroit. If a Chinese company can challenge Porsche in engineering while competing with Tesla in sales, then the real question becomes this: who will truly control the future of driving, and what happens when other companies try to reach a level that was once considered almost impossible? Hybrid technology is no longer a compromise, real change begins. BYD's Turbo Boxer points directly in that direction. For a long time, the word hybrid itself suggested compromise. People were told they had to choose between performance and fuel consumption, between excitement and responsibility. Hybrid cars were seen as the sensible choice, but they lacked the appeal that makes driving feel special. They were mainly for people who cared more about saving fuel than enjoying the road. The industry accepted this mindset too and produced millions of reliable but not very exciting cars. Roads gradually filled with vehicles that all felt almost the same. Then electric cars appeared and promised a future without compromise. As that future started to look clearer and better, new tensions also appeared. Range anxiety, weak charging infrastructure, and somewhere in the driving experience, the feeling that something important was still missing. Against this background, BYD quietly prepared its big move. The Yangwang U7 Turbo Boxer Hybrid appeared as a direct answer to all those doubts. This car did not stop at being just a press release. The moment it appeared, it created a wave across the entire industry, almost like a sudden shock. First glance, everything seems quite simple. Turbocharged four-cylinder Boxer engine with only 2 liters of displacement, neatly installed in a large luxury sedan. Paper, the numbers may not look extremely shocking, but the real story is hidden behind them. To understand its full impact, you have to look at how this engine works with the rest of the vehicle system. BYD's engineers understood very clearly that today, putting an engine into a modern hybrid system is not easy. The engine, electric motor, battery, and control unit all compete for the same space, making the design more complicated and increasing weight. The Boxer engine has a unique advantage. It is flat, wide, and naturally balanced. Because of that, it can be placed lower in the car, creating a stable base for the U7's advanced suspension system and heavy battery pack. Instead of conflicting with the electric system, it works together with it. That is exactly what makes the car's balance and stability even stronger. The limits of electric cars are exactly where BYD recognized the problem. This is where the real core begins, because electric cars may sound like future technology, but the reality on the road is not that simple. This gap is what BYD saw first. Look at the biggest problem with electric cars. Charging time. Happens with a gasoline car. In 5 minutes, the tank is full and the driver can keep going. With an electric car, that can take between 30 minutes and 1 hour, and if you cannot find a fast charger, the wait can be even longer. Now imagine you are on the highway and in a hurry. That waiting quickly becomes frustrating. The second major concern is range anxiety. Is that constant thought in your head? What if the battery runs out? Is there another charging station ahead or not? Especially in countries where the charging network is not strong enough, this problem is very real. In regions such as India, Southeast Asia, and Africa, this challenge feels even more obvious. And the third problem is infrastructure. For electric cars to truly work well, there needs to be a complete charging ecosystem, fast chargers, a strong power grid, and a proper maintenance network. In many parts of the world, all of that is still under development. Means, technically, electric cars are the future, but they are still not fully practical everywhere. This is exactly where BYD made a smart move. The company thought, until infrastructure becomes perfect, why not create a solution that combines the advantages of both worlds? This is where the strategy of hybrid technology and an advanced engine enters the picture. BYD focuses on plug-in hybrid cars, where both the battery and the engine are present. Short distances can be driven entirely on electricity, extremely quietly and without fuel consumption. When you need to travel far or run into an emergency, the engine immediately provides support. Means no range anxiety and no pressure to find a charging station. Let's talk about cost, because this is the real turning point. In a pure electric car, the battery is the most expensive component. Bigger the battery, the higher the cost. That is exactly why electric cars are often expensive. In a hybrid, however, the battery is smaller because the engine already acts as backup. As a result, the total cost goes down. Think about the impact of this in developing countries. People there care about practical things such as range, cost, and maintenance. If they can get a car that feels almost like an electric car in terms of fuel savings, still has gasoline as backup, and remains affordable, they will naturally be more likely to choose that option. This is why BYD's hybrid cars are becoming popular so quickly in many countries. The company is targeting markets where electric cars are not truly ready yet, but where people still want to upgrade. This is exactly where BYD creates a different path between Tesla and Toyota. Tesla talks about a fully electric future. Toyota is already very strong in hybrids, but BYD combines both to offer a more practical solution. Now let us talk about the quiet reaction from Germany, Japan, and America. The impact of this move on the global market is not just the strategy of one single company. It has the potential to shake up the entire auto industry. Until now, the global story was quite clear. The future means electric cars. Tesla had become the face of this race, and almost every major automaker was moving in the same direction. The moment BYD started strongly pushing the path that combines hybrid technology with an advanced engine, the game began to shift. First impact is perception. In the past, Chinese cars were often seen as cheap or as copies, but now the situation is turning around. Brands like BYD are bringing real innovation, from battery technology and hybrid systems to things like the turbo boxer engine. Sends a powerful message worldwide. China is no longer just a manufacturing center, but is increasingly becoming a center of innovation. The second major impact is competition. European companies, especially German brands, are now quietly studying BYD's technology. They may not say it publicly, but inside, tests, comparisons, and analyses are already happening. Japanese companies, which were already very confident in hybrids, now see BYD pushing the same concept even further. And in America, engineers are also trying to understand how BYD can grow so quickly. Third impact is the price war. BYD's biggest strength is delivering more value at a lower cost. Because the company makes its own batteries, builds its own components, and controls the entire supply chain, BYD can sell cars at lower prices. A company enters the global market with aggressive pricing, it forces other manufacturers to adjust their prices as well. For consumers, that means more choices and better deals. For companies, it becomes a serious challenge. How can they maintain profit margins, especially as traditional automakers with already high-cost structures? The most interesting impact right now lies in the electric vehicle strategy. Tesla depends completely on electric cars. If the market shifts even slightly toward hybrids, that could become a warning signal for Tesla, because competitors like BYD are offering customers a middle solution. Not fully electric, but not fully gasoline-powered either. Toyota, this situation is both favorable and complicated. On one hand, BYD confirms that Toyota's hybrid thinking was right. On the other hand, BYD is pushing the same idea in a more modern and aggressive way. The fourth major impact will become clear in developing markets. In regions such as Asia, Africa, and Latin America, the adoption of electric cars is still slow, mainly because of infrastructure problems. Hybrid cars fit almost perfectly there. BYD is quickly entering these markets, and if the company builds a strong presence there, it could turn into long-term dominance. This is the most important point: the early advantage. The company that builds trust in developing markets today can become the market leader tomorrow. That is exactly what BYD is doing. It is expanding its presence step by step across each region. BYD is not just selling cars. The company is trying to change the direction of the global auto industry. It has raised a new question. Is the future really only electric, or is a mix of hybrid technology and engines more practical? That is why the impact on the world market is not only about sales numbers. It is also about a change in the way people think. Now the biggest question is this: will other companies follow BYD's approach, or will they keep holding on to their old strategies? Because if market sentiment changes, the balance of the entire industry could shift with it. If you want to see more powerful videos like this, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and get the latest updates first. Do not miss it.